For the face, we're going to use burnt sienna, and I'm using Winsor & Newton burnt sienna, yellow ochre, cadmium red light, white, and ultramarine violet for darks. So I'm going to start with the face. This is a kind of a medium tone, and it's going to dry darker. She doesn't have a dark skin tone, so we don't need to go too dark in there. So I'm going to start and see if this is the right. It's it's light, but that's okay. You can always adjust. So what I'm doing is I'm putting the strong light color on her forehead, and I'm going to take a touch, just a small amount of ultramarine violet with the tip of my brush, put it here. And that I'm going to use as the darks. Okay. So for dark areas. So this is here. It will dry darker.
What were the colors you used again for the face?
Pardon?
What were the colors you used again? Burnt sienna, white,
yellow ochre, ultramarine violet,
okay,
and white. And white.
There's quite a bit of white in that by the looks of yours, is there?
Yeah, it's not a
Pretty
dark.
light.
Yeah, it's pretty dark. Yeah, light. We don't need to go dark with her.
Okay.
We don't need to go too dark. She has a light skin. So when I want to go dark, I'm using ultramarine violet in the white, in the light color, in the skin tone that I'm putting.
yeah.
Now, this is with ultramarine violet here. Now I'm going to go in. I'm going to add her skin tone. Don't worry about the eyes, because we can always adjust that.
And are you going over the ear or around it?
I'm gonna go, let me see, over, but with a light color. Not over, I'm kind of, kind of around it like this.
Okay.
Hook. And I'll take ultramarine violet, and I'll just put the ultramarine violet inside, and then I can adjust that after with the highlights to shape it better and soften it. So whatever you see, I see a dark line in her skin behind her ear. Instead of using burnt umber, I'm using ultramarine violet dipped in that skin tone.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I can go back and adjust. Okay. I'm always thinking when I'm doing something like this, I'm thinking about that, which helps. Okay, so which are part of the face that will catch more light?
Mm-hmm.
It's forehead, so that's more light. The skin here under the eyebrows, between eyelids, because the eye is a socket in, but the bone that's connected to the forehead is out, and goes usually somewhere underneath the eyelashes. So the skin underneath the eyelashes is out. It catches more light. So this is how I did, you know, it makes it much more easier for me to know where to put light and dark when I'm thinking about the shape of the bone in the face, because otherwise it's confusing. See how it's dark? It's drying darker already, which is great. I want it to dry darker. And you can see, if you look at her face carefully, just isolate her face and look at the colors in there, the shades. You can see this is slightly darker right here, because the bone in the face, it goes out, it goes in here. And actually, this is the first layer, so I need to cover as much as I can the canvas. Okay. I'm not worried about blending now or about, you know, what I'm getting. It doesn't matter. Right now, we're just covering. Nose. No worries if you go over the nose and, you know, the nose becomes bigger and then you have to, doesn't matter because we can adjust it from the outside. Negative painting. The part of her face that is connected to her neck in the back is a bit darker. So I'm using ultramarine violet in here with the color of the skin. Ultramarine violet in the color of the skin. If it's not enough, if I put ultramarine violet in the color of the skin and it's too light, just pick up ultramarine violet on your brush and put it there. Ultramarine violet is very soft. It's a soft color. Even if you pick up ultramarine violet by itself on your brush, you can always adjust the color later on. It's fine. You can see, I mean, I don't know if you have it printed, if you have a printout next to you, but you can see the neck in the back has this kind of bluish purplish color. Underneath her chin. there's a shadow right here. And the shadow, you can see it has the reflection of the dress. So the shadow is really like a reddish one. Now, I'm not doing this right now. I'm just kind of right now, I'm not putting the red because red is strong. So what I'm doing is I'm just placing the shadow underneath. And I'll show you in a minute what I mean. Okay. This is what I'm doing. I'm trying to do this. Don't go heavy on your paint because you need layers. Don't put too heavy paint. We're gonna layer this. Do you want me to stop so you can catch up?
Yes.
Okay, I shall do that right now. I'll stop. Okay, so now let's highlight the face, skin tone. So before I do the highlighting, I'm just placing slowly with mixing ultramarine violet, a bit of ultramarine violet, and burnt sienna. If I mix them together, I get a kind of a burnt umber color. It's really good as a color. It's dark. So I'm gonna come here and I'll show you. See where the eyes are? Right here. I'm gonna start doing this just this way. Okay. So make sure that my color is not heavy. So I put a bit of more water and I'm gonna put the dark in here. It's gonna look creepy, but you know, but it will look okay. And very soon we'll work on that. But right now it looks really weird. Now, leftover paint on my brush, I'm gonna do the nose, the bottom of the nose. So the bottom of the nose, let's talk about that. You can see in the picture that it's kind of dark. So it's like just a bit of a line in there.
Yeah.
Nothing, just really no heavy duty detail. Her lip, and it's again because not a lot, and I'm doing only her upper lip. I'm not going to do her lower lip right now, just upper lip. And it's a small line as well, like a tiny one, like that. That's it. So the thing with her face is that she is not 100% profile. Her face is
Mhm.
1/3,
Partly, yeah.
partly. So she's not looking this way, 100% profile. So all of her features are smaller. You
Mhm.
can see you can hardly see even her eye. You see here where the eye is, it stops at a line. It doesn't continue in, it just stops. So you just have to just place these features slowly, and then we'll take it from there. Now, these are good right now. They're fine. I'm happy with this. I did a bit behind her ear with the same, and right there, the jawline. It just helps me, it helps knowing where to stop the highlight. Okay. All right, back to highlight. Let's take burnt sienna, yellow ochre, touch of red, lots of white. Mix them. Again, when I say lots of white, I always keep room for more highlights. So it's not like white, it's kind of medium. I'm adding more, touch more, very, very small amount of red. And I'm gonna put more white in here. And
Well, my purpley on the back, the color in the back, it really dried dark.
dark, that's okay, doesn't matter. You can always, we're gonna highlight all of that.
Yeah.
So you could just, when you highlight, you could use a bit of a glaze where you want to keep it darker,
Yeah.
but not as dark. You know what I mean? Like you use the
Yeah.
skin tone, use the skin tone, make the paint slightly
Mhm.
transparent, not, like not heavy,
Yes.
and apply it over that, and you'll see it will, when it dries, the heavy dark ultramarine violet will be softer. So
Okay.
you don't lose it completely. All right, so now again, let's do this. Let's see if this is good. This is way too. That's okay. You know what? I'm just gonna put where the highlight is, where I want it to be actually. And
Burnt sienna, red and white, right?
burnt sienna, yellow ochre,
Oh, okay.
red, and white. Yes.
Okay.
So right now, I'm just putting that strong highlight you're seeing right now is where the high, like the boom is higher. And very soon I'm going to be taking right now ultramarine violet, putting it in the same, because this is turned out to be really very light. I'm going to take that, put it in here. Let me take a bit of red. Okay, that gives me a medium tone. So when I come in here, oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's really a good color. Again, I'm wiping my brush, picking up the lighter color. And now, because the dark one that I put right now is kind of wet, so with the tip of my brush, I'm blending softly. I'm doing a soft blend so I don't have a harsh line. Yeah, a little bit more white. Again, bit of a darker. So I'm going from light to dark, or light to medium, I should say, not dark. Trying to blend the skin tone softly from light to medium. If I do the whole thing the same color, I'm going to end up with flat face. That's where the eyelid is. Let's do the ear. Hint. Hint. And I think it should be darker. So I'm going to take a bit of ultramarine violet, add it to the skin tone, and I'll fix the ear in a minute. Just ultramarine violet, and I'm mixing ultramarine violet and burnt sienna. With my brush, pick up skin tone. Again, medium tone, not too light. So medium tone means that skin tone with a bit of ultramarine violet in it. And I'm just kind of reshaping the ear. Kind of a soft suggestion, which is not easy. Okay, it's not bad. I will eventually, what I'll do is I will soften this, glaze that dark in here. I don't want to remove it completely. I want to glaze it. All right.
Looks good. Actually, I went over with the lighter skin tone and some of my darker parts, and it does look better. So thanks.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Good.
There's always a way to correct, eh, when you use acrylics.
Yeah. Glaze. Glazing is always the best way because you it's there. It doesn't remove what you did underneath, but it softens and it.
Yeah.
But it
You
doesn't.
actually enhance it because it gives sort of an undertone,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. which I think enriches the color or something.
Right. Now, I know in the reference, she does have a red under her chin here, reflection of the dress.
Yeah.
We will do this later, not now. Right now, we're just placing, highlighting softly, and it has to be a soft, really soft highlight. Okay, good. I think this part of the chin is a bit harsh. Let's soften it a bit.
I started a drawing course yesterday at the Fairfield Senior Center.
Right, hold on. I'll stop the recording in a minute.
Oh, sorry, you're recording.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna add a tiny bit of white with the skin tone and a very, very small amount of red, but really small amount. So like a light pink, soft pink. And I'm gonna put it here. So you can hardly see the pink, the red. Really, it's very soft. And maybe here, her nose, down up here where her eyelid is, and a bit right there, just the upper part, because the cheekbone, it's higher here and it's lower here. So the skin catches more light over here, and then down here it's slightly darker. Okay. Since we're working on this right now, let's continue. I'm gonna place a strong highlight right here because this is what I see. So it's skin tone. See, I have quite a bit of skin tone here that helps. It doesn't dry fast. And I'm gonna add more white to part of it, not the whole thing. So I have a basic skin tone, the base color, and then I add darks and lights to that. Not the whole thing. I keep the base one always here. And then when I need dark, I take ultramarine violet, put part of it. Or if I want it lighter, I take white and I put part of it. And then I leave this so I can use it for highlights and darks. So see, there's a strong highlight in here, right here. And then, well, there's a kind of a light this way, but we don't really have to do it. Now, because I did this, and that's really highlighted, I can go back to this right here, grab, without cleaning my brush, grab some ultramarine violet. I'm not touching this. I need this because I need to push it in to use it for darks or lights. I'm gonna do this. Because once you start, this is light, okay? This is light, but it's not as light as the one here. So this is gonna dry darker right now. And as soon as it dries darker and I add the color in here, the rest of the highlight, I can go back and highlight it more. If I find that it's looking a bit too light, I'm just grabbing ultramarine violet and I'm adding that in here. Okay, I don't want it too light. So we want that kind of beautiful, soft, dark, but not too dark. See, that's great. I'll wait for it to dry. And if I need more, I'll go in And I'll do another layer. The further, the more I go down, the darker the color is going to be. It cannot be exactly the same like what I have here. It has to start getting darker. So same, I'm going to start adding more. Grab ultramarine violet. Start going down, and you can see right away it is a softer skin tone. Again, wait for it to dry. If I find that it's too harsh, too dark, I can go back and highlight it. Okay, this part here has to be darker. So I'm going to take skin tone again. No, this is what I'm doing. Burnt sienna, yellow ochre, white, touch of ultramarine violet. But I need skin tone more than purple. I want skin tone, dark skin tone that has purple in it. Now I'm grabbing burnt sienna and ultramarine violet. Go back to this color here that I have, which thank God I kept it right here. Go back. It needs a bit more ultramarine violet. Sorry about the noise. There's nothing I can do about that. Okay, more white. Actually, I'm grabbing more white. I'm gonna put it in the skin tone, part of the skin tone that I used before that was highlighted. I come here because this is dry. So if I'm looking here, if I'm you know, I have to wait for this to dry because I need to adjust all of the colors. But if I'm looking at this, I have different values. I have a dark value right here because that's where the back goes in. This is medium. And that medium continues a bit up here, but this is slightly lighter right here, slightly. But from here to here could be one value and then darker here. And then we have the highlight. Let's go back here. This part of the face or the head. I'm going to take a medium tone. Medium means that has this part that has ultramarine violet in it right here. Now come here because this is what I see in the reference. I see that this is a bit highlighted in here. Okay, now I'm gonna pick up red with the tip of my brush, and I'm gonna add it to this color, and I'm gonna come here.
Mm.
You don't have to do that. If you don't want to add this red in here, you don't have to. This is a very weird kind of looking shadow in here because of the dress. That's all.
Dress, yeah.
You really don't have to do it. I'm adding ultramarine violet to it. Now, I'm gonna go back, pick up medium tone, and add it here. Because I really don't want a line.
Mhm.
The line should be very soft. There shouldn't be a line in here. There's not this is not a line.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna blend. I'm gonna try to blend as much as I can. The lower part of the chin. So I don't have a line. I have a suggestion, that's not a line. Again, this is getting a little bit better.
Mhm.
The tip of my brush. This is the problem with acrylics. You cannot blend. Once it's dry, it dries really harsh. So you have to keep on adjusting. Okay. Good. All right. Let's try to add the her eyebrows. So in the picture, I can see that the eyebrows, they're shorter, they're wider here, slightly wider, and they turn, they connect with the dark of her, of the lid. I don't think we can do exactly what we see in here. So what I'm gonna do is, this is really small, especially for me, because I'm working on a 8x10. This is like miniature painting right now. I'm gonna take the skin tone, this skin tone right here. I'm gonna put it here, and I'm gonna take, I took ultramarine violet, wipe my brush, and come here, and then try
Tone. Hmm. Yeah.
now. I'm taking skin tone again, putting white in it. wipe my brush. And I'm just gonna, I'm sorry, I have to turn this around because I can't. I'll wait for it to dry a bit and see how it needs to be adjusted. Go back to same skin tone I have here and blend them a bit. Okay, this is good. Now we are going to need a tiny bit of black in here for her eyelashes. But for now, it's good. I'm gonna let it dry and see how it goes.